Welcome to Movie Recaps with Brian. Subscribe below for daily recaps. Today, we're recapping Thanksgiving, directed by Eli Roth. On Thanksgiving night in Plymouth, Massachusetts, a restless mob gathers outside the local superstore Riot Mart, desperate to seize doorbuster deals at the Black Friday sale. Jessica Wright, actor Nell Verlake, daughter of store owner Thomas Wright, actor Rick Hoffman, sneaks her boyfriend Bobby, actor Jalen Thomas Brooks, and their friends, Gabby, actor Addison Rae, Evan, actor Tommaso Sinelli, Scuba, actor Gabriel Davenport, and Yulia, actor Jenna Warren, inside early. When the crowd realizes people are being let in before the doors officially open, panic erupts, and the mob surges violently into the store. In the ensuing chaos, Amanda Collins, actor Gina Gershon, wife of Riot Mart's manager Mitch, is trampled to death, along with a security guard and a customer. Bobby's arm is crushed in the stampede, forcing him to move away from Plymouth to recover, leaving Jessica behind with a fractured circle of friends and a grieving town. A year later, Riot Mart prepares for another Thanksgiving sale despite the lingering trauma. Bobby returns to Plymouth, still scarred from the disaster, just as the town is rocked by a grisly new murder. Lizzie, a waitress whose selfish actions contributed to Amanda's death, is brutally killed by a figure wearing a pilgrim hat and a John Carver mask. Police begin to suspect a pattern when it becomes clear that the victims are all tied to the Riot Mart tragedy. The killer, quickly dubbed John Carver, escalates his campaign of terror by tagging Jessica and her friends in macabre social media posts, mocking them as if they were part of his twisted holiday feast. Jessica provides Sheriff Eric Newlin, actor Patrick Dempsey, with security footage from the riot, hoping it will help, but the murders continue. Carver slaughters more townsfolk tied to the riot, including a cowardly security guard who abandoned his post and a reckless teenager responsible for the stampede. The circle tightens when Evan and Gabby are abducted, and Yulia is attacked in her own home. Jessica and Scuba rush to her aid, but arrive too late. Carver disembowels Yulia with a saw before their eyes. With the town in panic, the police set a trap during Plymouth's annual Thanksgiving parade, using the Wright family as bait. But Carver infiltrates the parade in disguise, decapitates a mascot, and unleashes smoke bombs, plunging the streets into chaos. Amid the confusion, he abducts Jessica, Scuba, Thomas, and Jessica's stepmother, Kathleen, actor Karen Cliché. The hostages awaken at Carver's hideout, where Kathleen is horrifically prepared and roasted alive. Her corpse served as the turkey centerpiece at a grotesque banquet. Carver seats his captives alongside the corpses of his previous victims, creating a nightmarish mockery of Thanksgiving dinner. In a live stream meant to terrify the entire community, he bludgeons Evan to death in front of the others. Jessica and Scuba manage to break free, fleeing through the woods with Carver in pursuit. Jessica stumbles upon Sheriff Eric lying injured and follows signs of movement into a warehouse filled with parade float materials. There she finds Bobby bound and disguised in the Carver costume, raising suspicion. Sheriff Eric urges her to leave, but gunshots ring out, leaving Bobby missing. Later, police assure Jessica that her father and friends are safe, but her instincts tingle when she notices traces of the same forest debris clinging to Eric's pants that had clung to her own clothing earlier. The realization dawns. Eric is John Carver. When confronted, Eric coldly admits his motive. Amanda, the woman killed in the Riot Mart riot, had been his secret lover, and she was pregnant at the time of her death. Consumed by grief and rage, he blamed those responsible for the riot and vowed revenge, abducting Bobby to frame him as the killer. Jessica, however, has outwitted him. His entire confession has been live-streamed, exposing his identity. Enraged, Eric attacks her, and only Bobby's intervention saves her. In a desperate final showdown, Jessica uses a blunderbuss loaded with her late mother's bracelet to shoot down a balloon tethered to a gas tank, sparking an explosion that seemingly incinerates Eric. Afterward, Jessica reunites with Scuba and Gabby as Bobby is rushed to the hospital. Yet peace remains fragile. The authorities fail to recover Eric's body, leaving open the possibility of his survival. That night, Jessica dreams of a flaming Eric lunging for her, a vision that suggests the nightmare may not be over. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe below to watch more movie recaps with Brian. Watch the full movie on your streaming sites and comment below which movie you'd like to see recapped next.